Before I begin, I do want to thank each and every one of you guys who left feedback on the previous video. I think it's approaching like 1,300 comments now, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I also noticed that a few of you guys posted on the r/looks-like-Slazo and the r/SlashDayOrGo Reddit communities, so I appreciate you guys sharing my videos there. I do want to apologize for the relative lateness of this video. I was working on another video about the situation, and then suddenly, of course, Slazo released his own video. On the bright side, however, a lot of his points do match up with what I speculated in the previous video, so it only confirms what I was saying. Beware that this is still a he said she said situation, so something still might be wrong even after Slazo releases his video. I also noticed that many of the videos I linked in the previous video are now taken down, mainly Core's video or It's Ben's videos. They just no longer exist. And this reminds me as to why I created my Slazo videos in the first place. YouTube has developed this sort of, cancel culture, and I'm sure you guys are all aware of it. In fact, some of you guys might have, participated in it. I don't condemn you guys for that because I do understand why you might do this. In fact, I was part of this at one point, and I decided, hey, I know the evidence on one side looks really convincing, but the other side might have just as convincing evidence or even more convincing evidence. In Slazo's case, that's exactly what happened. The reason he was silent for so long was because he was seeking legal help and seeing how he could word his response video the best, and also he wasn't in a good mental state to, release a video. So he just had to calm down a bit and gather his thoughts together, which I believe was a smart move, but it did give all of us a scare or just higher suspicions. So moral of the story is, just remember that there's two sides to every single situation. Alright, with all that out of the way, I'm just gonna jump into what I'm gonna be talking about today. If you haven't watched Slazo's video yet, please just go watch it. The little info card should be showing you that now if I did my job. So what I'm going to be talking about is some of the points that I saw in Slazo's video that made a lot of sense to me. And I'm not just going to be summarizing his video. I do have my own evidence that I was able to gather. Two of his friends reached out to me and gave me some statements, so thank you guys for doing that. And I'm going to be supporting some of his points along with addressing the other side and then ultimately saying what I think happened. Perhaps the most important point he makes is that a lot of Shay's evidence was just evidence that was taken out of context or was twisted to look worse. And this does support what Slazo's brother had to say about this. It was just a twisted story that was out of context. And the way he proved this was by grabbing Shay's video and showing where she just didn't want to show messages of Slazo being a normal human being, or at least more normal than what he was in all the other screenshots that Shay provided. And some people actually caught on to this and created a tweet where they screenshotted all the messages that were shown in the video recording that Shay provided, but not in her set of evidence, basically. And why that was the most important point was because that basically rids Shay of all her evidence. There's no more empirical evidence that proves anything at this point. If the messages were proved to be out of context and don't even prove what Shay is saying, she didn't provide anything more other than her anecdotal stories. Saying like other girls are starting to feel uncomfortable around him, and this was easily disproved because first off, I noticed that there was no other girls coming forward, and something that Slazo mentioned in his video was that every time he asked for who they were, she never answered that question. It looks like she just dodged the question and moved on. And so basically at this point, her story has already broken down. But to support Slazo's story even further, I do have statements from two of his friends. I'm just going to read them out and let you guys just kind of decide. They are slightly different perspectives, but they do provide a lot of what Slazo says, and I just wanted to add these in to help the situation clear up a little bit more. I've been to Michael's house so many times. He's never done anything pressuring or tried to assault/rape me. We've been alone in his bedroom together and he's done nothing. I then asked if this person knew anything about Shay, and then she answered, "No, I do know that she lives in my area and that she's dropping out of school." She said to Michael that if things didn't go well with her current boyfriend, that they could try again. Now, I don't really have any proof to prove that Shay is dropping out of school, and that's really irrelevant to this story as well, I think. But Michael did provide in his video to say that Shay did mention that they could get back together if she didn't work out with her current boyfriend. I then asked if this person thought Shay's story was credible in any way. She answered, "Michael's an awkwardish dude, but he grew up with like 7 siblings. At the time of this all happening, he was sharing a room with his older brother. He lived in a Christian household." The only problem I have with this statement was that the Christian household really doesn't have anything to do with the story. Michael does admit that he lied to his parents about, Shay, and that they weren't aware about this relationship. I think he's entirely innocent, even thinking unbiased. Like, if he was really a rapist or had rape tendencies, then he's almost had 2 years of time to rape or assault me. I just want to mention that this person was talking in terms of whether or not Michael was a rapist or not if he was completely innocent in the situation as a whole. All I can say is that I got no red flags from him in any way, and that Che can say what she wants, but I think it's entirely ridiculous. Michael may be tall, but he is by no means intimidating or angry. I've never seen Michael angry the entire time I've known him, and I'm often told that I'm an infuriating person. I knew Michael at the time he was with Che. He mentioned that he liked this girl at the time, but that she was too young for him. He told me that she said she was fine with the age difference. He has since said that they had done nothing sexual in nature during the time that they were 14/17. So this was from the perspective of a person who was good friends with Michael, including having some even more intimate relationships with him, but never full on being a couple. And a lot of the points that she makes do support what Slazo says in his own video. The second person I was able to talk to had this to say. Oh, he 100% messed up, and he's aware of it. You can even see that with the DMs between him and Che. But he has apologized and has taken responsibility multiple times, even talking to me about it. So yes, what he did was bad, but he hasn't done it since and has apologized. I then asked her exactly what she thought about Che's original tweet and if she trusted it. Not really, as some of it doesn't add up, especially her saying she's doing it to protect other girls and other girls have felt uncomfortable, even though Michael has asked her several times about these other girls and she's just changed the subject. I believe the movie theater and park things have been taken out of context and completely twisted. I then asked if she thought Michael was an abusive person. See, this is hard to say. Michael admitted to saying that this was his first relationship, which it was, so I believed he kind of didn't know what he was doing. However, this doesn't mean it was right. But just like Che, she believed this sort of behavior was normal, and I believe that Michael thought it was too, but now no longer thinks so and has changed since then. This matches Slazo's story pretty well because she admits that Michael probably wasn't the best person in 2016 and 2017, saying it was hard to say what happened, but also saying that Che's tweet was completely out of context and didn't add up in several points. That just about wraps up the additional evidence I had to add to this situation, so now I'm just going to talk about exactly what I think happened. Overall, I think Slazo's story makes way more sense to me. If you guys watched my previous video, a lot of the points that I made actually directly mirrored with what Slazo said, including things just being taken out of context and the story being twisted up. This also matches much of the evidence I gathered from other people's testimony, including Melinda Layla, who talked to Chris's brother, including these two people who reached out to me and gave their own statements, being personal friends with Slazo, and then including all the comments that I got on the previous video that seemed to match exactly what was said in Slazo's video. With that being said, I fully support exactly what Slazo said because this matched much of the evidence that I had, and also it just made much more logical sense to me. If you guys have a different idea or have just like some points that you disagree on, make sure to let me know in the comments. I do read all of them and I will have a discussion with you guys. If you want to reach out to me personally, I do have an Instagram and Twitter. Links will be in the description. One last thing I do want to mention is that if you look at Che's side of things, nothing has come out since the very beginning of the situation. Only those DMs that were leaked, and that's about it. However, if I am wrong on this and that she has released another statement, please do let me know, and I guess I'll just have to cover the situation again and address both sides. However, with that being said, this is the end of the Slazo situation, at least for now on this channel. If you guys stayed here just for that, feel free to unsubscribe, but if you do want to stay for my regular content, then hopefully I see you in the next episode. I do understand that a lot of people want me to continue this drama series, but I don't know if I really want to cover that, at least on this channel. If it is requested enough, I guess I'll create a second channel for this kind of stuff, and then I'll just be covering occasional dramas on there, though I do tend to cover more personal dramas, mostly Reddit YouTubers so far at least, and maybe I'll branch out in the future. We'll see. Either way, I thank you guys for watching through this entire series. Thanks for listening to my opinion, and I'll link some videos that you guys should watch down below that also explain the situation through another perspective. And hopefully I see you guys discussing in the comments as well, because this situation is wrapping up, but it isn't over yet, so we'll see how well Slazo can recover or how things play out. Thank you guys for watching.